Hey guys, it's Skides here, and I'm showing you guys how I made this custom 3D printed Edelgard figure. And first I went to this website called the VG Resource, where this user, their name is Kuro Kairaku, I think I'm saying that right. The link will be in the description below. They basically uploaded all of the Fire Emblem Three Houses character models. So as you can see right here, they have all the character models for all the important characters. You can download them, do whatever you want with them. And so upon downloading them, I just searched for Edelgard, and then what I did next was I put the model in Blender, and you can see throughout this video that the model has a ton of bones. It was really hard to work through and figure out which bones moved which part of the model. Like for the first 20 minutes of me just moving around in Blender, I was just deselecting and turning certain bones invisible, like the certain bones that I didn't need. And you just see that I made a specific pose. The specific pose. I wanted to make sort of her pose where she has her hand out and she's holding her axe down. She does this pose several times in the Fire Emblem Three Houses video game. And so you can see throughout the video I tried my best to model that pose with the Amira model as well. I just slipped it in her hand. And next you can see this 3D software is called Cura. And this is basically where I put my Edelgard figure in. You can see where I'm sizing it up next to Hilda for scale. I've already made a Hilda figure before. Hilda was the first character I made. Edelgard is actually the third figure I've made. And so you can see I put it in Cura. I sized the figure up. I've made this custom stand that you can see at the bottom where she's standing on. That has the Fire Emblem Heroes star symbol from the game. And so I made that custom stand in Blender as well. And basically this 3D printing software, it does a preview of how it's going to actually print. And next we're going to get into the time lapse of me actually printing it. And as you can see throughout this time lapse, it prints these really wide walls to hold up the figure. And after these walls are printed, I actually have to take the figure and sort of cut off the support. It's these walls are built so that obviously the printer can't print anything on thin air. So these walls are made so that the printer can actually reach these spots, and I can just sort of cut it out of the support around it. And as you can see, the support's really thick, like when I first take it off the printer. But that was because I didn't know what I was doing. I just got a 3D printer earlier this year for my birthday, and I didn't know how to make supports not as thick. So now I know what I'm doing, and I'm able to make the supports thin and not take up as much space on my figure. The walls aren't as thick. And then next, you can see this picture here where I actually cut the figure out of the support. It took a really long time. It's really finicky and annoying to do it this way. So I'm really glad that I figured out now how to actually make supports not take up as much space and just be like a thin pillar for me to cut the figure out of. When I was first doing this, this was back in April actually when I started this project, and I didn't know how to make custom supports back then. So that's why you see this really thick wall and all this plastic that I had to cut out. And so next, what I did was I sprayed the figure with a matte coating of spray paint, because the plastic itself, the 3D printed filament, you can't really paint on it very well. So I had to do this first spray paint of a coating of white, and I did it in white so it's easier to paint on. So I did this first coating in white just so that I can have a finish on the print that I can actually paint on. Because if you try to paint it fresh out the printer, it's not going to stick. The paint that I use, the Craftsmart acrylic paints, they don't stick onto the material at all. So basically I had to go through and actually spray paint it like you can see here. And then once that's finished and once it's dry, then I can actually begin on painting the figure. And so we have a jump cut right here. Basically what I did was I did most of the printing off camera, but I did do a lot of it on stream. It was honestly kind of hard to do a drawing stream of me, or not a drawing stream, but like a painting stream, because when I paint, I tend to hold the figure up to my face, but when I was drawing it, or I keep saying drawing, excuse me, when I was painting it here, I had to hold it in front of a camera that sort of obstructs my view, and it was really hard to actually paint the figure like this. So I did most of the painting off camera, unfortunately. If only I could record my eyes as I'm painting it, that'd be so much easier. But I was not comfortable doing it this way. So most of the painting was done off camera, but as you can see from this little snippet of my live stream, I just went through and did all the colors, looked at a reference, and just kept on painting. And here you can now see the finalized Edelgard print. Now, the biggest issue was the support of the arm. When I first made this custom, or when I first made custom figures, I made Hilda, and I got really lucky because my Hilda figure came out perfect. I didn't really have to worry about any parts of it being flimsy. Like, her weapon rested on her shoulder, and there was no weight of gravity to break the her weapon, her axe, Frey Kugel. But when I did Edelgard and her Amir, partially through me cutting the figure out, it actually broke. So you can see how I just sort of put it together with clay, and it's sort of crooked and hanging down because there's no support from the arm. The arm isn't strong enough to actually hold up all that weight, and so the axe just falls over. But live and learn. I've learned my lesson now, and so next time when I make an Edelgard figure, I'm definitely going to make sure it's supported. And I wanted to make it exactly like the pose that she does in the game, but this pose, obviously, when I'm making it into a real figure, it doesn't have enough weight, it doesn't have enough support to keep that weight of the axe from snapping the figure. But overall, this 3D print came out to be a success, and I wanted to do a quick little video just showing how I make these figures. And I'm going to be doing a lot more of these soon. I want to make more videos on the channel of me making 3D printed figures, and I'm going to try to sell some figures too, so stay tuned for that as well. And hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's kind of short, but I put a lot of effort into it, and I think overall this figure turned out pretty great, and I'm excited to work on the next one. I have several ones that I haven't finished painting, but I don't want to do just Fire Emblem characters. I want to do a little bit more other figures, and but I'll definitely post whatever I make on this channel here. So if you guys like this video, I think it's a pretty cool thing. If you guys want to contact me about how I made this figure, you have any more questions, you can put those questions in the comment section below, and I'll be sure to answer any questions. And I definitely want to make more of these to potentially even sell once I get more resources, because it is kind of expensive to make these figures, and it is it is time consuming for me to make them. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys later in the next one. Bye bye. Oh, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button.